Hello, grade 8s. Welcome to the second lesson in the fraction unit. Today we're looking at mixed and improper fractions. Now, mixed and improper, we have to be able to work back and forth. So we're going to be able to convert mixed to improper and improper to mixed. So before we do that, you need to know what improper and mixed fractions are. So we'll start with that. So an improper fraction, that is a fraction whose numerator, remember the numerator is the top, and it is larger than the denominator. And remember, the denominator is the bottom. So here are a couple of examples. So 9 at the top is bigger than 7 at the bottom. That makes it improper, right? 21 at the top is bigger than 9 at the bottom, so that makes it improper. So those are two examples of improper fractions. Okay, moving on to a mixed number. So that is a number that is the sum. Remember, the sum is the answer to an add. So it is the sum of a whole number and a fraction. Now I want to show this one with an example. So say you have a pizza party at home, and you order 3 pizzas, or your mom bakes up 3 pizzas, and the yellow part represents how much has been eaten. Okay, so what happened? 2 whole pizzas got eaten, so that's a whole number. And then also a fraction of a pizza got eaten. So 1 piece out of the pizza that was cut into 4. So 1 out of the 4 pieces of the 3rd pizza were eaten. So that is a whole number and a fraction, and they're added together. Even though we don't see a little add symbol in between, that means 2 plus 1 1/4, or 1/4 of a pizza were eaten. Okay? So now we're going to move on to being able to convert improper to mixed. So this one is a little bit more difficult. So what we need to do is find out how many times the bottom divides evenly into the top. When you do that, this becomes the whole number. Okay? Now, most of the time, it actually doesn't divide evenly. There's some left over. But you have to figure out how many it could go in evenly. So if you have a remainder, then the remainder becomes the new numerator. And you're going to place this over the same denominator. And when you do that, this becomes the fraction. So we're going to have a whole number and we're going to have a fraction. Now, every single time we finish a question, we should be looking, are all the fractions in lowest terms? Okay, so you're looking for that. So let's start with the first example. Okay, 8 over 4. So we're trying to figure out how many times 4 would go into 8, right? 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Both of those are smaller than 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. Well, 12 is too big. So 4 will go into 8 twice. 4 will go into 9 twice. And that becomes our whole number. So what is 4 times 2? Well, that was 8. So what's our remainder? If 4 times 2 gives us 8, we would have a remainder of 1 over that same denominator. So this means that it turns into 2 1/4. Now, this is in fact the same fraction that we would see in our example of our pizza party, 2 1/4 pizzas. So how the heck did we get 9 over 4? Well, that comes from how many pieces of equal size pizza you ate. Right? So in the first pizza, there were 4 pieces eaten. In the second pizza, there were another 4 pieces eaten. In the last pizza, there was 1 piece eaten. So 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 pieces out of pizzas cut into 4. That's how we get that number. Okay? So let's look at the second example. 7 goes into 16 how many times? Well, 7 times 1 is 7. That's not enough. 7 times 2 is 14. We're getting pretty close. 7 times 3 is 21. That's too high, right? So it goes in 2 times. Just happens to be 2 again. It won't go in 2 times every single time. So 7 times 2 is 14. How many more do we have than 14? Well, we've got 2 more. So that 2 left over goes on top of the same denominator. So our mixed number would be 2 and 2 over 7. Okay? Let's go to the next thing that we need to accomplish today. And that is to be able to convert the other way. So now we're going from mixed to improper. This is a little bit easier. So what do? We start off with a multiply. We're going to take the denominator of the bottom and we're going to multiply that by the whole number. We're not done because then we add the numerator or the top number. When you do that, this becomes the new numerator. So multiply, starting at the bottom, multiply by the whole number, and then add the top. That's your new top. Then you simply place over the same denominator. So let's look at some examples. Start at the bottom. 4 times 2 gives us 8. And then we take that 8 and we add the top. So 8 plus 1 gives us 9. That is 9 over the same denominator, which is 4. Right? This is exactly the same as that first example we did with the pizza party. Right? 2 1/4 pieces. Right? What does that convert to? 9 over 4. Let's go back and look at it. Right? That's because we ate 4 here and 4 there. So there was 4 twice. So 4 twice gives you 8. And then we add the extra 1, the 9. Okay? To give you a total of 9. Let's try another one. Start at the bottom and work our way to the whole number. We're going to multiply and then we're going to add. So remember, 5 times 3 gives you 15. And then add 15 plus 2 gives you 17. That becomes your top number over the same denominator. Those are equal to each other, just converted. Now, I want to also be able to show you that we can look at mixed and improper using other diagrams or shapes. Okay, the first one I'm going to look at is using a number line. So we've got 2 points here located on this number line. Now, it's only the positive side of the number line because we're not looking at negative fractions this year. You will look at negative fractions next year. We want to be able to write the mixed and the improper for the points on those lines. Okay, so what you're going to notice is that there's some whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that there's part way in between. Okay, so if we were to look at point A, that is a mixed number. So what happens? We've gone past a whole number of 1. So that is a 1. And then we've gone part way to 2. That's kind of like eating part of the second pizza, right? But how many pieces is the pizza cut into? Well, that's represented by the number of spaces, right? If we show our grid here, we can see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. We go to the second one, it's still cut into 4 pieces, right? It's consistent through the number line. So we've gone 1 whole and then we've gone 1. Maybe I'll get rid of this so that it's not confusing you. Sorry. So we've gone 1 whole and then we've gone 1 of the 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that this, in fact, has been cut into. So 1 whole plus 1 of the 4. So that's 1 1/4. Let's look at the improper version of this. Okay, so the improper for A is how many pieces have we actually moved to get to A? Well, we have moved, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So 5 pieces that have been cut into 4s. Because each number that's worth 1 has been cut into 4 pieces. From 1 to 2, that's 1 number. It's been cut into 4 pieces, right? 2 to 3, that's been cut into 4 pieces. So the improper would be 5 over 4 because you have traveled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 even-sized pieces when they've been cut into 4s. Okay, let's look at point B. So what is the mixed number for point B? Well, we have traveled 1, 2 whole numbers. So that's going to be a whole number of 2. And then how much more did we travel? We traveled 1, 2, 3 of the 4, right? To get to here, we traveled 1, 2, 3 of the 4. So that's 2 and 3 of 4. Now, what would be our improper? Let's go back. I'll try and erase that without erasing the whole the number line. And how many spaces did we travel? Well, we traveled 4 here and 4 more there, and then we traveled 1, 2, 3. So 4 plus 4 is 8, and 3 is 11 pieces out of numbers that have been cut into 4 spaces. Okay, so that's the improper 11 over 4. Now, if you want to do the rule, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11 over 4. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 4. That works too, right? Okay, let's look at different shapes other than circles. Okay, so you can think about this in just in the same way like a pizza party, right? Our mixed number. So in this, our mixed number, remember we need a whole number and a fraction. So we've got a big rectangle that has been cut into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. Okay? So we've shaded in one whole rectangle, and then we've shaded in 1, 2, 3 pieces out of the 6 that it's been cut into. So that's 1 and 3 out of 6. Now this can go lower, right? This can go to lower terms because we can divide both of those by 3. And what do we end up with? 1 and 1 over 2. So 1 and 1/2. Now what's the improper? The improper would be 6 pieces here, right, that the rectangle's been cut into, plus 3 pieces there. So that gives us 9 pieces altogether out of a bigger rectangle that has been cut into size 6 pieces, or 6 pieces. So the improper would be 9 over 6. Okay? Again, this could be cut into lower terms by dividing both the top and the bottom by 3. 9 divides by 3 to give you 3, and 6 divides by 3 to give you 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, right? We can check using our rule. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have an assignment to do, converting mixed to improper and improper to mixed. Take care. See you soon.